Wow, it has been a little bit. It's been a very weird time the last little bit. Welcome back though. Few things to talk about. Some updates, channel updates in general. Um, I've taken a little break because I want to take a little bit more time to learn how to edit and make higher quality content. Right. My mic right now. I need to get a new mic. I will. Don't worry about it. I'll probably have one by next week or the week after that. Um, but besides that, about the podcast, Inept has just got back from an appointment, so he's kind of just been out of it, and that's fine. So we took a little break off of that. To compensate, hold on. I will be making more videos, right? And then we have another thing about TikTok. Anyone who's coming from TikTok might have noticed, like, I'm not posting as much. My content may be a little bit of lazy post. That is because I've been so busy with work. I have to I've been moving, I've been cleaning, I've been doing a lot of things, right? So I just want to point that out. As well, I am in school, so it's a lot of like back and forth of being busy. So I want to make sure I have high quality content coming out. But nonetheless, I also got a few new games, and I'll look through them right now. Hold on, let me get my Steam out. Where is my Steam? There we go. So right now that I have, well, I don't have Black Ops 2 anymore. I refunded it. It doesn't work. Chivalry 2, CS2, Cry of Fear, which I want to make more gameplay to Cry of Fear, but I don't know if I want to make it as gameplay for commentary or as an actual playthrough. If you guys want a playthrough of horror games, I would be so down. I had to remake my Destiny 2 account so recording in Destiny 2 could also be a move. We have Fallout 4, New Vegas, Halo Wars, Killing Floor 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Zomboid, Ready or Not, Shattered Union Squad, and the OG Battlefront Siege. So it really does depend on what you guys want, right? Now, oh shit. So that's kind of the basis of it. So I'm taking today off for the most part, especially off at TikTok, to just get more on path to what I was supposed to be doing. So it's just little things like that, right? Although I do want to say thank you. We did get past the 80 or the 70K views a week like plateau on TikTok. Last week we got about 90,000, which is insane. Upcoming week or 2 weeks, like upcoming week to 3 weeks, I'm gonna try to get 100K a week. So it's gonna be kind of tough, especially when I am lazy with my posts, and I know I shouldn't be. So I just want to point that out. But besides that, besides a lot of like just little channel updates here and there, I think today we're just gonna talk about a few more stereotypes and stigmatizations of NPD and other cluster Bs in general. But I won't speak as much on other cluster Bs because I don't have those, so I don't want to seem ingenuous or disingenuous, right? So we're mainly going to focus on NPD for this conversation. And just to start, right? And this is kind of like to help because our podcast is enough this week, but one of the biggest things that I notice is a lot of people with NPD, a lot of people who think about it, the demonization and stereotyping of cluster B, NPD in specific, is kind of weird to me because I did make a post about this earlier. The way people stereotype and demonize it is the same way people demonized other groups in the past, and everybody reacts the same when you call them out because they've pulled the same thing. Oh, but it's different. This is different. This and that. Those are the same things people said about every other group in the past that were stereotyped and stigmatized, right? Why is it okay now? And this has been an ongoing conversation of not all people with NPD are, horrible manipulators, demons, right? They're not terrible people who, hurt you and this and that, right? That's a big thing. A lot of people in the community people who aren't in the community and kind of just look out see it as. And I don't understand it, because when you bring up the fact that, hey, the way you talk about people, the way you stigmatize people is the same way people in the past stigmatized other groups. The replies prove your point, and I wish people knew that more. And that's the biggest thing to start on, is that your prejudice is the same prejudice people held for everybody else, but now it's okay because it's us, right? Because it's something we can't change. It's something that most of us, it's something that we developed to survive from our own past and trauma. And to judge us for how we act, how we survive, is downplaying and belittling our own past and trauma, because we developed a different way than somebody else. And I wish people took the time to understand that. But that's a big starting point to speak about. Moving on from that, I think that from a lot of social media in the film industry, people think, when you tell someone like, oh, what do you think a narcissist is? Or you ask them, there's going to be a very few like specific examples I think of. And one of the biggest ones is Patrick Bateman, right? Aside from all the jokes about it, people think of that. He was an arrogant, egotistical person who admittedly just wasn't a smart person, very reckless, unpredictable, and he was violent. He would lash out. People think of that as a narcissist. That's what they think, because that's what they've seen. That's all they've seen, because narcissism isn't well documented in social media or the film industry, because it's not a very well understood disorder either, right? So when you have a select few films or books or any type of media portray that as a narcissist, or portray what a narcissist is, and those get popular, and those are the big ones, people look at that and be like, oh yeah, that must be what it is. So online, when you start talking about your feelings, how you feel, you get pushed into this grouping of, oh, you don't actually feel that way. Oh, you don't actually feel that way. You never actually been through this. You're probably lying. You're pandering so you can get some type of pity and use them and manipulate them. That's not what it is. And everybody thinks that's what it is. Narcissists are people too, right? You go through life a different way than your typical person. And when you do talk about it, when you open up, you get the same responses. You get insulted, hated, and excommunicated from every group, that you can, because nobody wants to trust you. And the other response is people mistake NPD for, you can never acknowledge or see how you're wrong. And now, while there's truth to that sentiment, there's a spectrum, and there are people who learn to get better. I can acknowledge my issues. I can acknowledge my faults. And I wish people knew that, Those are the two most common responses that people get when they speak out about their narcissism, right? So it's hard to speak out. When you get pushed that far down into demonization, because they don't treat you like a person, they don't treat you like human, most people will not speak out anymore. They don't want to speak out because of this, because they know how they'll be treated. Because the public, they'll cast you out. You will become an outcast. You will have nobody in your life, because nobody wants to be around you because they don't trust you. So you have people who hold they hold their issues so deep down, and that grows into an anger, into a resentment for a lot of people. And that's what creates bad people. That's what creates toxic narcissism. When you make people quiet, when you don't let people talk and speak out for what they are and what they believe in, what's happened to them, they will hold it and bottle it up, and they will become what you demonize them as. When you demonize somebody, when you stigmatize somebody and you outcast them from society, from everybody else, even mental health communities, every mental health community will not accept sociopaths or narcissists. They never will, right? When you outcast them from their own community, they become somebody that they never were before. You demonize them so much that they turned into what you demonize them as. And when you see that same person turn into a horrible person, turn to someone who hurts others, manipulates others, who does everything they can, and you blame them for that, yet you don't blame yourself. You don't blame the community you're in. You don't blame everybody else for outcasting them. That's the problem with people. You want to say that, oh, narcissists are bad, sociopaths are bad, but you outcast them and force them to become bad because they have nothing else. If you've been hurt and outcasted by everybody around you, why would you ever be nice to them? Why would you ever give them hope why would you even give anybody the chance, the same people that did that to you? You wouldn't. And I don't want to, you could say, oh, I would. No, you wouldn't, because you've never been in that scenario. You never dealt with that yourself. And that's what people don't understand. And I wish people did. That is it. It's an insane cycle that I don't get how people don't see, because they could never give you a logical response as to why it's okay to demonize, stereotype everybody in that community. Sociopaths and narcissists have their own community because nobody else will take them. And that fucking breeds toxicity. That's what a bad narcissist is. That's what a toxic narcissist is. So I don't want to hear people talk about this or that, or, oh, narcissists are all terrible. No, the ones that are terrible are the ones that you push and outcasted from everybody else and any help they could have gotten. A narcissist will not get help when you've outcasted them, because their only experience with speaking out was being outcasted. So why would they not be outcasted in their minds to anybody else? That is what you have to understand. This will be uploaded probably tomorrow. I think it's Thursday, so probably uploaded either the same Thursday or it's going to be uploaded on the 18th. But the rest of you guys, have a great day. I'm gonna get a bunch more videos recorded.
It's funny cause they try to be us, and I try to mimic our trust.